Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of Review Roundup. Now, the 4 films that I have for you today are an interesting bunch because they are among some of the weirdest, certainly some of the more controversial, and even one of them, I'm confident, is going to be, if not my number 1, certainly among the worst I have seen in 2026. So, let's get into it. And let's just rip off the Band-Aid and just get the biggest dud of the whole month out of the way. The Strangers Chapter 3 fucking sucked. Now, given the quality of the entire trilogy, that's not saying much, but this might be the worst out of all of them, because even though I didn't think it was even going to be executed well, the fact that they were finally going to be touching on other different sort of interesting ideas with this whole Stockholm Syndrome type thing. Like, she's so fucked up that maybe she'll join the Strangers or whatever the fuck they're trying to go for. And not only is the execution bad, it's downright fucking choppy and insulting. Like, the decisions some of the characters make are fucking asinine. I know, horror films, stupid decisions. It's nothing new. But here, I nearly had an aneurysm. Like, there's one bit where the sheriff in this film, who's in on all of the killings, like, his son is one of the killers, the scarecrow-looking motherfucker. And the main chick, some of her friends come into town looking for her, and the sheriff is cornering them with a gun, and one of this chick's friends, who also has a gun, and at this point in the movie, they already know that the sheriff is fucking unhinged, and the sheriff's going, "Oh, put your fucking weapons down, now!" And the dude does it, and he's like, "Yo, alright, just don't hurt us." And he still gets shot the fuck up. Like, what the fuck were you expecting? Dumbass! And the whole will she, won't she thing, as far as actually joining the Strangers, goes fucking nowhere, because at the end, she lures the dude in. The main scarecrow motherfucker, whatever his name is, goes, "Oh, I think I feel something for you. We can join together, kill, or whatever." Only to kill him. It was a trap, whatever. So you're like, alright, she's mentally fucked up from all this, but alright, she's not a killer. But then, the movie ends like she's leaving the scene or whatever, carrying one of the Strangers' masks. Like, what are you trying to get across here? Like, that's this whole trilogy in a nutshell. Like, it had all these ideas, and even though they had no idea what the fuck to do with any of it, they think that just by simply having these ideas, oh, we're so deep, we're doing something no Strangers film has ever done before, we're gonna tell you who they are. Like, you are going against the very idea of what the Strangers are supposed to be in the first place. We're not supposed to know who the fuck they are or why they do what they do. That's what makes them scary. Like, I'm not even a diehard fan for this franchise, but it's asinine. Asinine. Like, if I'm gonna get pissed over when they try to explain Michael Myers' method of madness, then regardless of how much I feel about this franchise, I'm gonna get pissed here too. Like, you're in complete violation of what makes these characters, what makes a set of horror characters who they are, then this is what you get. What the fuck were you expecting? Critical acclaim? Just simply for the fact that you're doing something different. And what's even worse is that we might be getting a 4th film out of this storyline, if the rumors are true. Which, you know what? Fuck it.
And now you're going to die.
I'm done. which I don't know how the fuck I got through these 3 movies in the first place, how I even got to even wanting in any certain extent to want to watch 3 of these, but I'm done. I am so fucking done. I've had to sit through 3 movies of franchise-destroying, lore-breaking violations that I just can't anymore. And not to mention all these asinine, brainless, brain-dead, limp-brain character decisions. I can't take it anymore. Which, if they do another reboot, I'll watch that, but given how horrific this trilogy has been, this may be the end for these characters, which I find such a shame because there's so much potential with their look, their whole motivation, or lack thereof motivation. Such a fucking shame. This thing gets an F. Moving on. Finally onto some good fucking food. Cold storage, honestly, was fine. Like, maybe a little disappointing given where my expectations were. Like, they weren't sky-high expectations, but I was hoping for something a lot creepier and gorier than what we actually got, but it was fine. Like, the 2 leads are fine enough. They have good enough chemistry. What gore we do get, especially when you get, like, animals being possessed by this fungus or whatever it is, I think that was pretty cool. The opening in the desert with the abandoned motel or whatever it is with Liam Neeson and his cop partners, that was probably my favorite part of the movie. I just like the atmosphere of the cold, well, not cold, but the wide open desert or whatever it was, that kind of a middle of nowhere type feeling. And Liam Neeson himself, while he doesn't have as much screen time as I was hoping, he does fine for what he does. Like, admittedly, it felt a little jarring seeing him going back into his action roles that he's more known for after seeing him kill it with comedy in The Naked Gun. That's just kind of how I viewed Liam Neeson for a while there, because he really left an impact in Naked Gun. So I don't know why, it just felt weird. Like, oh yeah, like he is an action star. Like, but regardless, I did like him here. And while I did like the opening more, I do think there is some overall good atmosphere to the storage facility. I'll be fair and I'll give it a B. I honestly don't know how to describe a movie like Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die in a way that even makes any sense, because this was the weirdest, trippiest fucking movie I've seen in a long time. But I loved the fuck out of it. Like, this thing was so crazy and random with the directions it chooses to go. Everything from the opening to the frickin' dude's opening monologue inside the fucking diner, and the people he takes along with him to on his destroy AI mission. Like, I loved it. Like, while there's another film here that I'm going to be talking about next that I had more faith and put more stock in, oh, this movie's going to fucking roast the fuck out of AI. Like, I think this movie did it better. Like, I knew going in that this was a movie that was going to be its commentary, but wow. Now, there are a lot of movies that people say all the time where oh man, it was so unpredictable. I had no idea where it was going to go. Like, this movie takes that to the next fucking level. Like, it was literally scene for scene. Every different sequence and scenario that these characters get themselves into, even with the flashbacks giving backstory to some of these people, every single sequence in the movie of how, at this point, okay, I'm just done trying to guess where the fuck this movie is going to go, and I'm just going to enjoy the ride for what it is. And it's a crazy fucking ride. Now, I also got to give credit for where credit is due, that for how wild and fucking batshit crazy this movie is, there is a lot of heart to the movie too. Sam Rockwell gives, I'm just gonna say, in my personal opinion, the best performance he's ever given in his entire career. I enjoyed every single second, every single minute second that this dude was on screen, spouting all of his crazy shit. I loved the fuck out of it. And the other characters that he brings along with him, some of them you genuinely really do start to kind of empathize with. And the reveal at the end with the main chick and the relationship she has with Sam Rockwell's character, I thought was genuinely sweet. And it was the most heartfelt part of the movie. And even the ending, I know a lot of people didn't like, because feel like, oh, nothing was accomplished. But I really like the ending, because not only do I like the angle where like Sam Rockwell is like, now I know what to do this time. Next time we're going to get it right. But the whole message that this movie is going for, with this message of the dangers of AI, I feel like this ending where it was all AI trickery the entire time, none of them winning wasn't real, I feel that this only adds to and strengthens the message of how dangerous AI can be. Because we all know how dangerous AI is. It's just what AI does. It's a fucking menace. So yeah, even with the ending in consideration, I thought this was a fantastic movie. The characters, especially Sam Rockwell, were really fucking interesting. The flashbacks giving background to some of these people were really clever additions. And the commentary, while in execution is batshit fucking crazy, has something thoughtful and meaningful to say. So if you haven't seen this yet, go see it. Whether it's still in your theater somehow, or if you can find it on streaming, it is absolutely fucking worth it. A+. Oh, Scream 7, you poor unfortunate soul. Now, I just did a big live stream talking about this movie here on my channel, so if you wanted to know all of my in-depth thoughts on it, controversy, the story, and all of that, you can go and look at that, but I'll give my simplified thoughts here. Now, I also talked about all the controversy surrounding this film on the live stream, so I won't really get into it here, but on a story level, I feel like there was genuinely meat on the bone bringing back Sidney Prescott, seeing her as a mother, having a family, trying to be away from all the Ghostface shit for good. Now, obviously, this wasn't the original plan for this. Now, this obviously wasn't the original plan, story-wise, for Scream 7, but for Sidney's character, I feel like this was genuinely full circle for her character, going from victim who lost her mother to now being the mother, protecting her family. I thought that was very intriguing. Now, the relationship that Sidney had with her daughter felt very natural and organic. It made sense, with Sidney not wanting to talk so openly with her daughter about her past and all of her trauma, while on the flip side, Tatum's frustration with her mother being so closed off and all that, not really wanting to talk about any of it, as well as the mistrust that she has towards her boyfriend Ben. It's like a Halloween H2O situation. You genuinely get and understand both sides of the coin, and I thought it was fantastic. Plus the detail of Sidney naming her daughter after her best friend from the first film, Chef's Kiss. Love that detail. Joel McHale was great as her husband Mark. I loved how genuinely capable and competent this guy was. He wasn't just a worthless bag of flesh sitting around like, per se, Ray in Halloween 2018, Laurie's daughter's husband. He commanded a lot of authority. I loved how he just went for it and just fucking tackling the fuck out of Ghostface. How him and Sidney tag team and beat the fuck out of the first Ghostface they got to deal with. I mean, yeah, he gets taken down and stabbed and he gets beaten down towards the end of the movie. But even then, when he's wounded and bleeding out in the third act, the fact that he still takes out a little knife, weak as he is, and still does what he can to cut Tatum's legs free. I love those little details. Like, even when he's already down for the count pretty much, wounded and bleeding out, he still had a part to play in saving his family and all that. He was able to do something still. I loved that. Great fucking character. Even if it wasn't Kincaid, like everyone was wanting it to be, and admittedly, I was a little disappointed about that too, but loved the character they gave us all the same. And Tatum's boyfriend and her overall group of friends... And Tatum's boyfriend and her overall friend group, I thought were a really nice little addition to the movie also. I thought her boyfriend Ben was really, really sweet. I actually really felt for him in the fact that not once did Sidney trust him throughout the whole movie. McKenna Grace from the new Ghostbusters movies got a really nice little bit part, getting one of the absolute best fucking kills of the series, getting sliced the fuck open on stage like that. Gnarly as fuck. And even the chick who played Lucky, who was also in the new Ghostbusters movies, while not as visually interesting of a kill, still a gnarly fucking kill with all the glass and shit in the bar. Plus, I liked her sweet, just kind of carefree attitude, you know, like Stu, if only she wasn't actually a fucking psychopath. And while Lucas was admittedly one of my main suspects on first watch, I felt so fucking bad for the dude, because yeah, he's a little weird with how obsessed he is with true crime and all that. The fact that his only label in the friend group is that he was the creepy dude and all that, I felt bad for him. And the little cute moment he had with friggin' Chloe, I thought was sweet. And oh man, he easily got the worst fucking kill in the movie. Oh dude, he got it the worst. Fucking right through the head, and then all the beer and the blood and shit starts right through the mouth. Like, especially when you factor in the fact that it was his mother who did the kill. Like, that was the Ghostface who did that kill. Now, when it comes to Gale, Chad, and Mindy in this movie, I really like them overall. Like, I love how their fucking entrance just pummeling that fucking Ghostface, just ran the fuck out of him with their car. Like, holy shit, badass fucking entrance. Now, Gale, as much as I like her overall, I like that she had nerve damage from the attacks in New York. I like that with her instincts. She knew right away that this isn't going to be another Woodsboro-centered killing spree, so she went right to Sydney. Love that. And I also love that, you know, even though she was being a bit of a bitch during the interview, I do like the outcome of it. It was like, you know what? Like, because your Sydney was all like, well, what if I had asked you about Dewey live on TV? And Gail's like, then I would just tell myself that I'm fine. Like I do, like 500 times a day. I love that. I loved how they finally, properly addressed how Gale feels long-term after losing Dewey. Like, that was great. But on the flip side, where the fuck was she in the third act? Like, she just disappears. So that's a pretty big issue. And as far as Chad and Mindy, love them in this one. Like, it's not my favorite interpretation of these characters, but I do like the angle that they're working with Gale now. And it's something that was cut. It was filmed, but they cut the scene out. But there is a detail where Gale said, Sam and Tara went into witness protection and all that, and I promised them that I would look after Chad and Mindy and keep an eye on them and all that. So yeah, that it may not count because that wasn't actually in the movie, but if you look it up and you know it, then yeah, it just adds more to it, gives more justification for them being here. And I like them. Like, I like how, even though they're going from very movie stars to wanting to be reporters, but Mindy still has that, you gotta explain the rules bit. That was a funny scene, talking about nostalgia and shit. So I really liked they still had the the same charisma and charm that they've always had. But I don't like how they're just taken out right away. Like, I like the shock value, the fact that, Chad was like, I'm leaving, I don't want to get stabbed again. Then he gets stabbed again. Like, it was a nice shock moment, but then he's just knocked out right away by Ghostface. And Mindy, she tries doing something, but then she just cut and then knocked her right away. Also, like, there's no fight with them. So that's kind of a negative. Now, before I get into the Ghostface reveals and how I feel about them, I do gotta point out some other negatives I do have with the movie. Like, as much as I said I do like how competent and capable Mark as a character was, which I do, he was great, but I don't like how just the police force was just pretty much absent throughout the last half of the movie. Like, in the first half, it seemed cool, like when the chick gets sliced open on the school stage and all that, and then later on when they're scouring over Sydney's house to see if anyone was in there. Like the first half, the cops were very present, and all right, cool, this is cool. But then they just disappear after that. Like, I know that there was a curfew in effect by this point in the film, but even then, it's like in that one montage scene with Red Right Hand playing, we see that there are cop cars patrolling the streets. So where the fuck were they? Like, it made for some awesome chase scenes when Tatum's being chased in the back half of the movie. That was a great fucking chase scene. One of the best we've had in a while. But all of a sudden, the cops are nowhere to be found. Until, like, the very end when everything's being wrapped up. So, that was just weird to me. Now, as far as the Ghostface reveals and the motives, look, I've seen the movie 3 times now. I've had time to think about it because I just, like, unless you've already seen my live stream so you know this, for those who don't know, I had to see this movie, like, twice on opening day just to try and grasp how I actually feel about the reveals and the motives. Because first watch, I had no idea what the hell to think of it and the movie overall. So I watched it again, and then after the third time, I've had time to think about it for a few weeks. I do like the reveals and the motive. Well, Jessica's motive. Because look, the actual reveals themselves, when the masks come off, Marco, the asylum dude, especially, I understand, and I even agree that there's no impact to that. It's just random. Like, this dude had, like, the one scene before when he's dropping the clues to like, oh, that's Stu. He was this John Doe. He had this amnesia. He didn't remember who he was. So, I get that. He just had the one scene, and so there's no impact. Jessica, she at least had a few more scenes, and I liked the little bits that she had with her son, or at least before we find out that she kills her own son, and the little bits that she had with Sydney, being her neighbor and all that. That was cool enough. So, I at least felt it a little bit more when Jessica's reveal came around. And look, just to put it out there right now, as far as Stu coming back, the whole AI angle they're going with, making Sydney think it was Stu, and addressing the fan desire for him coming back. Look, I love Stu's character. He's my favorite Ghostface. And I understand why people would want him to come back, to actually be alive. But think of it this way. It would have worked in Scream 3, when it's just been a few years. You could buy him more that maybe he'd still be alive. But at this point, with it being 30 years past, how is it that no one would have known that he was still alive? Especially Sydney. Plus, you gotta factor in the bad fucking wounds this dude took, as well as a TV to the face. So I get it. But I will admit, for the clues that they were dropping in this movie, is it Stu, is it not? Especially the little things they were dropping in the scene at the asylum, that this dude came in with no amnesia and all that. Like, I'll admit, the way that they were dropping those clues, I was starting to buy, maybe it's him. And the fact that they were dropping those clues so well, at least in my opinion, I was even willing to buy into, like, okay, if it is Stu, maybe they'll actually have a good reason as to why, how they'll explain it all. But obviously, it wasn't him, and we got what we got. Now, going back to Marco, the asylum dude. His reveal is random. There's no impact to it. I agree. But for his actual presence and the little that he gets, I'll get to that in a minute. But there are some Ghostface reveals in past movies that have come off random and all that, but I could still enjoy them just off of the actor's performance as well as their presence and all that, and even some of the kind of humor they bring to it. And this Marco dude, he falls perfectly into that camp. Now, I would have liked it even more, potentially, if he had actually gotten to fucking, like, fight Sidney in the third act. But it's something that some of these Scream movies do, where I don't like how they take out the one extra Ghostface, like, right away, and leave all the fight to the main person with the mastermind. Some of them do it better than others, but here, I don't like how he's just freaking taken out right away. It kind of pissed me off. But now, talking about Jessica. While her reveal certainly falls more into the same camp, because she didn't have that many scenes overall, so there's not much impact, what really saves it for me, actually, is the motive. Now, a lot of people have really torn apart and ridiculed the motive especially, which I can understand why. But with the time that I've had to look at it, I like it for quite a few reasons. I'll just get the big one out of the way. The whole angle that they're going for, that she read Sidney's book that she wrote in Scream 4, and it inspired her to kill her abusive husband and all that. And like I said, she even killed her son, because in her mind, she was becoming too much like the dad and all that, which he actually wasn't, but you know it is, she's psycho. A lot of that stuff hit kind of close to home to me, because I have a past of being abused and things like that, so that was the very specific angle that I needed time to think on, and why I had to see it like twice the same day. But I think they handled it very respectfully. It wasn't just for the shock value, because of how it actually tied into why she particularly wanted to go after Sidney. Like, why is she going all Ghostface and going after Sidney? What does that have to do with anything? And even that I like. With how, you know, the meta commentary they're clearly going for, with commentating on the people that are upset that Sidney wasn't around in New York, that she wasn't in Scream 6, Neve Campbell wasn't in Scream 6. I like that. Like, that was some cool meta stuff there. For a movie in this franchise that had arguably the least amount of meta commentary, the little bits that it did have, especially in the opening with the Stu Macher house being an Airbnb, which I didn't mention it earlier, but that opening was kick-ass. Like, factoring in that house in real life is an Airbnb for real. Those little bits of meta commentary that this movie did have, I feel like really counted for a lot. But the abuse angle aside, the way I like to look at it overall, whether this was actually intentional on their part, is like this. So Scream 5, right, its commentary was on toxic fan response to the movies, fan obsession with the movies, the franchises. And this movie, I like to look at it as the commentary on real life obsession with the actual people, the celebrities, fan obsession with celebrities and all that, parasocial relationships. With the time that I've had to think about it, I genuinely really love this motive. Especially for what it does for Sidney's character. Because Jessica's all pissed, like, you went away, Sid. I couldn't fucking handle it. Like, what the fuck happened to you? You're past your prime and all that. You used to be the final girl. And Sidney's all, yeah, I just wanted to show that there's life for people after trauma. Which I don't know how they keep doing it. But every single time you think that there couldn't possibly be any more reasons to love Sidney Prescott even more as a character, then they give you even more reasons. And some lines really hit me hard, like that one bit. I just wanted to show there was life for people after trauma. That really hit hard, because if you know the struggles I had with my mental health last year, that really hit hard. And then the line that just got later, like, but no, you don't get your happy ending. Trauma is your life. Like, that really hit hard, because there was a point in my life last year where it felt like there was no hope, that I wasn't going to be able to fix myself. But now I have fixed myself, and I couldn't be happier with how I am mentally right now. So certain lines like that just really hit hard. The third act could have went on a lot longer. Like, they chased each other throughout the whole house, maybe even took it onto the street, like some street brawl type shit. But I feel like there was still enough there. Mother and daughter teaming up to take the bitch out and all that. And I love at the end where, like, they freaking blow Jessica's fucking face off with all the fucking bullets. Like, man, talk about face off. I fucking love Nicolas Cage. But it still wraps up nice with Sydney finally choosing to open up to Tatum about her past, specifically about her friend Tatum, where the name comes from, what's in a name and all that. It was a really sweet ending that actually kind of got me choked up the first time. An ending in this series has got me really emotional like this since the 5th film. And I gotta be honest, it's a minute detail, but might be my favorite end credit sequence of any Scream film. Like, you've seen it in the intro of this video. Freaking creeping on you is like, I both love and even kind of hate how catchy that song has become. But regardless, I know I'm in the very, very huge minority on this, but I love Scream 7. All the flaws aside, it admittedly has some of the biggest flaws of the series, but the things that I love, really love, sort of make up for those flaws. Like, I know that for most people, that consistent streak that Scream has had in quality has been broken, but not for me. For me, the Scream franchise has only remained more consistent than ever, so all flaws aside, I'm going to give this an A-. And that is going to wrap up this month's review roundup, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everyone for watching, your continued support, and tune in very soon, within the next week or so, for my next live Toy Story review. We're going to be talking about Toy Story 2, leading up to the big review of Toy Story 5 this summer. I want to thank everyone for their continued support. If you're finding my channel for the first time, like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you next time.